What is up, my beautiful gemstones? Happy Tuesday. And I'm laughing because it's just me and Ghost Dragons right now. Let me bring him in. What's up, Nightmare? Thanks for popping in.
Hey, there's 4 of us. So there's me and you. Well, you're not in YouTube. So it's me and 2 other people. Yeah, so it's me and 3 other people. And Paranormal Pixie.
What's up, Miss Pixie Girl? So I've got all of my Christmas cards here that I'm filling out. I promised you guys if you send me your address and you're in the United States, you will get a Christmas card. And I have a couple of, I couldn't do a lot of Yule boxes this year. Money is tight. But I am sending out a few little gifts, like maybe some sprays, some oil rollers. Ghost Dragons, the necklace thing I sent you is actually... okay, so what that is, it's the same thing as an oil roller. It's a perfume, but essential oil. So I did it that way because you can wear it on your neck and get the energy of whatever the crystal is. You can put it on as a scent, or you can take a little dropper and put it in your bath water. It's an alternative to the crystal rollers. I'm just trying them out.
I like it. I do like it. It's not very long. I can't wear it around my neck.
I thought it was a good idea. I thought it was, a good idea. It's easy to carry. You could hang it from but at the same time, it's also scent. So I thought that was just something new that I'm trying. May continue with it, may not. Nobody orders anything from me anyway, so it doesn't really matter. I'm getting bigger and bigger. I'm excited about it. Yes, that is the bumper sticker, if you didn't know.
And then my dad.
I have several of those that I'm putting in the Yule boxes, the Sasquatch ornaments and things like that.
Up behind me.
A lot of stuff that I wanted to send you came after I had already taped your box. So you're getting another one from me. And there is a Christmas gift I'm trying to get for Ghost Dragons. It's $40. I'm willing to put half. So I'm trying to take up a collection to get the other 20. If you guys would do that, it'll get there after Christmas, like the 1st or 2nd week of January, but it is essential Ghost Dragon stuff. Either way, I'm going to get it for you, whether it's in January or for Christmas. You have to have it. It's a must-have Ghost Dragons EW item.
John's trying to take my death note. My character you sent me.
I didn't know who that was. I just thought it was a cool looking little character guy. I didn't realize it was like an actual character from
it's from an anime. He is Death Note.
I was like, oh, he looks cool. And RJ was like, Ghost Dragons would like that. I was like, I think he would, buddy. He's creepy.
Yeah, it's cool. Giles is trying to.
Hey, Mark. So, hey, Chillin' Charlie. So I finished the script 5 minutes before stream started. I finished the script for Monday for the just for the channel, not for members. I haven't figured out what I'm doing for members yet, but it's going to be hikers. It's the Almost Vanished series, but this one is hikers who were almost abducted by paranormal, or I should say supernatural forces. The stories are insane. There's only one out of the 5 I covered that I hadn't heard before. So it was really interesting to write that script and get to weigh in on some of these things that's happening to people in the woods. And a lot of it has to do with feeling dizzy, feeling confused, seeing things that shouldn't be there and things right in front of you disappearing. Pretty crazy. Awesome, Blue Cross Rose. That is awesomeness. Got my butterfly nails on. I thought these ones were just so pretty. Especially this one's my favorite. It's half black, half butterfly. So Chillin' Charlie, I always mention it in a lot of my streams you'll say as usual, I'll say this as usual, this makes me think of the missing in the woods phenomenon. And because everything, I just equate it back to that. But these stories in particular have me thinking of an extraterrestrial force. Once you hear them, you'll understand why. The Devil Man of New Orleans and the Vrykalakas. I hope you guys enjoyed that one. I got a lot of positive feedback on the members video where I read the introduction and chapter, I think it was 11 of my new book, Danger at Your Doorstep, Terrifying Encounters with Black-Eyed Kids, which I don't know when that's coming out. I still haven't gotten it back from editing, but I'm hoping January. So I got a lot of positive feedback on that. So I may read from my other books. I know those are already released and some of you guys own them, but a lot of people don't own them. So maybe it would bring more people in. And I always think it's cool, like when Stephen King reads from his books. I'm not equating myself to Stephen King. I'm just saying like when the author reads their book. So I thought you guys might like that. I'm really struggling with ideas for members videos. That's why I asked my members to please let me know what you guys would like to see, and I'll do my best to accommodate. I wanted to talk a little bit about what happened while we were filming Oracle, while we were live streaming Oracle on Saturday night. So the first thing I want to say is I am so sorry. First of all, when I was using the Chromebook and looking at myself, it looked horrible, but it did not look nearly as bad as it actually looked on your end.
Not much you could have done about that.
And there wasn't. And I just want to say, like, it was either do that or don't do the stream. And I wouldn't have been able to do the stream again until this coming Friday. So while I know it was irritating and annoying, the messages did get through. And I didn't look my best anyway. So I had just dyed my hair. I couldn't get it to stay in a bun. I couldn't put my wig on because I had just dyed my hair. So whatever, as long as you guys got the messages, and that's what mattered. But I did feel bad putting out such a subpar
Go back
stream.
And look at when I stayed with you over the last 2 times I went and we streamed, and I used my Chromebook. My camera on that thing was crap too. So
thank you, Charlie. Yes, you did miss Oracle, but the good thing is we do it every week. So excuse me. The good thing is we do it every week. This week it's going to be Friday, but I'll let y'all know in a short. Okay, so my mom came in, which she never does. So she only comes in if there's like an emergency with RJ or an emergency in the house. RJ was sleeping. She saw a light, like somebody was shining a light through the door on the porch. Now, in my family, it's funny because like I remember my mom and my sister having a conversation one time, and I don't know why they didn't know I could hear them. I think maybe I was in a different room and something had come up, and my sister said, yeah, but Gemma's weird. She's not afraid of anything. Because I'm really not. Like I used to walk around Patterson at 2:00 in the morning trying to bum change for a cigarette. Like I don't have fear. And I think that's a lot to do with my religion, right? Whom shall I fear? And I really do live by that. And a lot of it's just the alexithymia that I'm still kind of struggling with in the area of fear. So I've come a really long way with compassion and sympathy. And alexithymia is basically like the inability to equate emotion to a situation. So like my friend Donna, for instance, I had her in tears the other day because I was listening to her and I was helping her, talking through something with her. And she's like, you've changed so much. She's like, you used to tell me that you cannot handle compassion, so don't even bother coming to you with it. And this was my best friend and my roommate. Because when I was little, I was not allowed to express emotion. So what I learned to do was not express it, right? But the one thing I still struggle with, and it's a good thing, it's a bad thing, it's an extreme thing either way, is that I don't really have fear. And again, it can be good and it can be bad. So I'm just like, whatever, I'm going to walk out there. My mom's like, you can't do that. Like I'm telling you, I saw someone. So I'm thinking maybe, but the way that her street is, there wouldn't be any lights coming in from cars, right? Stephen, you know that.
Yes.
Unless they were parked in the church across the street.
I was just going to say the church parking lot.
Now, I discussed briefly, this is getting to something paranormal, guys, so just bear with me. So I discussed briefly with you guys the stalker who sits outside in the church parking lot, all the way in the back, facing my mother's house, but only when I'm there. I'm assuming it's a he, but it could be a she. This person has never once gotten out of the car. They have never once had gone in or out of the church. Like they seemingly have no business there. They don't have government plates, and they're not in any kind of marked vehicle. And I notice when I go out and start pointing to it, it takes off. I never thought to get the license plate until you guys mentioned it. So thank you on that. I did tell my mother to get the license plate. So that would be the only way if someone was pulling out of the church, and there were no cars in the church. So, I mean, I was a little like, what is going on here? But I was like, oh, heck no. Plus my mom lives in a town in New Jersey that is basically the the drug that begins with an H, the big drug. It's like the capital of New Jersey for that drug. But she lives in a really nice area, but sometimes you see things. So I was concerned. I wouldn't say I was scared. I was concerned. It's a Toyota Camry. I do know that. Camry or Corolla.
Yes,
I have that written down, and it's gold. It's gold, like that pewter color gold. So anyway, I opened the door. There's no one there, and there's no evidence of anyone having been there, even though there wouldn't be. It was a cool, calm night. Miss Pixie, I did. When I took RJ over there, when the fire trucks were there, I mentioned, and they're like, nope, random people do park here a lot, but if nobody's here to see them doing it, and they don't have working cameras in that area of the church. So that we did do, Miss Pixie. Thank you. But I only asked one person, maybe someone else, that's a good idea. Maybe I should ask someone.
Like I did ask somebody that's there all the time.
I asked the pastor. I just happened to see them outside for an event, and I pulled him aside. I saw him outside for the event, saw what he looked like because he was preaching or whatever he was doing. And then when the fire trucks were over there, I just happened to see that same guy walking into the church. And I did ask him because my mom and I had just been talking about it, but maybe he doesn't know. Maybe it has to do with something. It just seems strange that it is always when I'm there. And the 7 weeks I was not there, that car was not there once, to my mom's knowledge. And my mom smokes probably almost a pack of cigarettes a day, and she smokes on the porch. So she would know if it was there. So anyway, back to what happened on Saturday. I went out. There was no one there, no evidence. So I did order my mom pepper spray, but I had it sent to my house. I'm going to give it to her so that she doesn't accidentally end up pepper spraying herself or someone else. So I could show her how to responsibly use it, even though she probably never would have occasion to, but I think it'll make her feel better. And it's hot pink, and it dyes the person. Hot pink dye comes out too, which I thought was cool. I had this option of pink or blue. I was like, pink all the way. Pink Friday, baby. Yeah. So then anyway, when I go downstairs after the stream ends, okay, after I was done with you guys, I went downstairs and RJ was sleeping on the couch, and my mom was sitting there shaking so bad I could actually see it from the steps. Like I could see her body moving and blood pouring out of her nose. I've never in the 40 years of my existence seen my mother get a nosebleed. At first I thought something was bleeding. I ran downstairs. I'm like, oh my God, why don't you come get me? She's like, it's my nose. I don't know what's going on. I keep hearing someone walking around down here. And I told her, I'm like, Mom, no. I said, I was sitting in Damien's gaming chair. And if you guys notice, I can't sit still. Even now, my feet are moving. When I type, my feet are always moving, especially during stream. So I said, no, it was the creaking from the chair. She's like, no, it wasn't. I'm telling you, because Damien's room is over that back room. There's a back room there where I had all my crystals and stuff set up, where my mom keeps her photographs and like her wine bottles and stuff. And then this was over the kitchen. I said, okay, Mom. I said, well, you know what? I'm not scared. So go upstairs in your bed, go to sleep. There's nothing going on up there. I went upstairs with her. I checked her closet for boogeyman. I mean, she's like a little kid. She's terrified in her own house, and it's sad. And Damien wasn't there. He was gone for the weekend. So I go downstairs, and I'm not even thinking about it because I'm convinced that it was me in the chair moving. That night, I heard not only walking around, like it woke my son up numerous times because it's all hardwood floors and they creak. I also heard growling coming from the corner of the room. So like if you walk into the living room. On the right-hand side goes up the stairs, straight in front goes to the kitchen and the back dining room and the back bathroom, the back door. But off the living room to the side, there's another room. And that's the room where I used to stream when I lived with her and when I stayed with her. And that is the most active room in the whole house.
Yeah, it is very active.
But I had never heard growling in the house before, except in the attic. I know when I was exercising the house, I did hear growling. My sister was with me and she heard it. She went running down the steps. She's like, oh, hell no. So that's what happened. And I feel like when I told you guys I was getting overwhelmed and I felt like something was trying to overtake me, like I felt so peaceful, but I knew that it wasn't, it was something malevolent trying to give me a false feeling of peace. And I knew that. So I was trying to block it out. It seems like every time I stream from that house, the paranormal activity, the negative side of it really amps up.
And I don't think it likes it.
I'm bringing in too much light is what it is.
Yeah, you bring in all this positivity and it's just like a beacon.
You guys are light workers and you all have very bright light spirit teams. So I'm bringing in at least 30 different spirit teams a night, and any spirit team could have from 3 to 12 or even more entities attached to it. So think about that times 30. Yeah. All in the same room. I'm not glad my mom's moving, because I feel like, I feel sad for her that she has to move out of that house. But I'll tell you what, I'm very happy she's moving away, because number one, instead of being almost 2 hours away, she'll be 15 minutes. So I'll get to see her and Damien way more. But number two, she won't be there by herself. She's going to be living with her brother.
When I was there last time and I left the following morning, she was awful quiet. And I kind of smiled and goes, you don't want me to leave. She goes, can't you stay one more day?
She did say that. She was like, I miss him already. I don't have a coffee buddy now.
I knew she didn't want me to leave. She kept trying to convince me and staying, but they had appointments that day and I needed to get home. But it's funny, because when I'm there, the only time I see anything in that house is in that back dining room, off with the French doors.
When you're sitting on the couch, you can see the French doors are always open, but my mom has the Christmas tree there now, but you can see in that room, guys. So that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Now, it is an active house. It always has been. There's a djinn there. I've known there was a djinn there for a while. We all know, because I've discussed it with y'all, but I don't know I'm not strong enough to get rid of a djinn. I mean, I've dealt with demonic entities, with demons. I've met the devil, but to try to get rid of something as ancient and powerful as a djinn with my level and with my skill set, my level of ability just isn't up to par. And I don't pretend that it is, but I have been able to do some things to ward it off for a little bit. The one time I did my mom's whole inside, the day that the thing growled in the attic, I did the whole inside. And then I did the whole outside, but my husband was there and the whole thing was making him very uncomfortable. So what I did, he was waiting outside. And what I did was I only did 3 sides of the house and I left the other side. I was trying to make everyone happy, like I always am. I ran inside. I was done. And the next thing I know, my mom calls me 2 days later. And on that side of the house that I didn't do, there was banging, banging, banging. And there was nobody outside. But against that wall is where the couch is. Right. So while she and Damien were watching TV, something was banging, but it was only banging on that side because that's the only side I did not protect. Yeah. Chill and Charlie it is. And I've learned now to not strive so hard for that.
You can't do it.
My magic mind is coming to, oh my God. I ordered Magic Mind on December 2nd, and I felt so guilty about it because it's Christmas, and I love giving gifts. You guys know that, and I felt guilty. My check was very, very short this month through no fault of my own, just something that happened with the company I work for. Only this month, of course, December, but they did me a huge favor. They helped me out, but it was still very short. So I was worried, but I'm like, you know what? I really like this stuff. It really helps me. It helps me not drink so much Red Bull. It helps me with my medication. It just helps me calm down. I'm going to splurge and buy it. Now, 15 bottles of this stuff at one a day is $90. It was a lot for me to spend on myself, and I felt really guilty doing it. But I get an email. I'm expecting it within 7 to 10 business days from the 2nd. I get an email the next day. Or no, that same day, I ordered it on the 2nd, telling me that it'll be on my doorstep within 4 days. So that's the 6th. Yesterday was the 11th. I still had not received it. So I emailed them like, what's going on? And they're like, oh, sorry, with the holidays, it's taking longer. I'm like, yeah, but I would have not even expected it until today or tomorrow. You told me it would be here in 4 days. And I was kind of being a Karen. But they were like, no, it'll be there tomorrow for sure. But before I emailed them, because I didn't expect an email back, I ordered another 5 bottles off Amazon that'll be here tomorrow. So mystical, rock hounding, and fossils. What is up, slow motion? So good to see you. You guys are amazing and tremendous. And I'm just so happy to be here with you guys right now. After this, I'm going to film. I think it's going to be the first week of January. And I might do 1 or 2 personals for January that I have to do. So.
Yeah, when I'm at the house, I notice it's, other than what I see in that room, it's pretty quiet. Your mom says, I never have any problems when you're here.
Yeah, with me too. That's why we were so shocked. Like, normally we'll hear some banging or something. It gets a little more active in like the days after when I leave. So right before I come, my mom will be like, she's coming, go F yourself, you know, like, because the spirits know that I'm not going to put up with their bull poop. So yeah.
I'm sure.
It was scary. I feel bad for my mom. Now, you guys have seen my mom. She's not an elderly woman, but she is in her 60s. And I worry for her. You know, I don't want her being scared. My stepdad passed so suddenly. And then I had, I tell you guys all the time, because of the wall that grief builds, I have not gotten visits from the 4 people in my life who I'm still grieving. What happened was I didn't really grieve, I guess, properly because of the alexithymia. I always forget what it's called. I just didn't grieve. And what happened the other day was we were driving. My mom was dropping me off at the stores at Kohl's so I could do some Christmas shopping. She was taking RJ back to the house. She lives like 3 blocks from it, but I'm not allowed to walk. That's my mom. And she didn't want me spending money on Uber. So whatever. She dropped me off. And the song Bobby Jean by Bruce Springsteen comes on. And I love Bruce Springsteen. That is another one of my future ex-husbands. And it reminds me of Damien's father. The words in that song, I just broke down in the car, and it came out of nowhere. And my mom's like, it's all right, but she was shocked because I'm not a crier, guys. I'm not, Ray would probably tell you different, but I'm really not the person who cries. Again, my emotional, connecting emotion to situations is very, very hard for me. But I was, oh my God, it was so bad. So I got myself together before my son could see. I gave him, because we were best friends since we were 12 years old. We just happened to have a kid together. I mean, that's kind of what it was. So I go and I'm composing myself before I go into Kohl's. I'm finishing a Red Bull and I'm vaping. And I looked up and I was just like, Billy, who's my other best friend who passed last year of an OD. I said, Billy and Jeff, like, you guys have control of my radio. Tell me what you want to tell me. It was insane. Out of 1,500 songs on my playlist, I put it on a shuffle. Every single song reminded me of one of those 2. It was songs we had listened to, songs we had sang at karaoke, like all these things. But it got even better because later on, I was cleaning out Damien's room for him because they were moving. I was helping him with some stuff while he wasn't home. And I had the radio on again. And his biological father's favorite band in the whole world was Sublime. And he got me listening to Sublime. And we used to listen to it over. Like, it was just what we listened to. That and DMX, which is where the name Damien came from. And I'm telling you, 1,500 songs on a shuffle. Every song was Bruce Springsteen, Sublime, or DMX. Every single one. And If I Died Tomorrow by Motley Crue, which was a song Billy used to sing to me during karaoke. It was insane. And I'm sitting there and I'm cleaning something up and I look up and then he has his father's picture right there. And I didn't expect it. So again, I broke down. Yeah, Miss Pixie, it just frustrates me because I see everyone else's dead and I see random dead and I can't get that wall down to be able to see my own, and I've had so many people pass away on me, so many people in my family. I have a huge family, so somebody is always passing away, but I'm not that person who cries just because someone passes on. I know where they're going. And also, if I wasn't close to them, I'm not emotionally connected. Like, some people will cry just at the thought of someone passing. And I get that, like, that's an emotional person. But for me, like, if I'm not going to grieve someone I didn't know. I think it was horrible. Like when my nephew died of cancer at age 19, but I wasn't close to my nephew. I cried for my sister a little bit, but it wasn't grief like I felt with Damien's father and my friend Billy. So it's been a process, but they were definitely speaking to me through music the other day because
that's the thing. My brothers get mad at me and friends get mad because I don't show a whole lot of emotion. And when Mom passed, Tim goes, I figured you'd be the one, just walking around. I didn't show any emotion. I was good. Everybody else was losing their cool. I was good until after the funeral. I came home and found Dad in the bedroom crying. And that's when I finally broke down.
Well, my thing is, if I had been invited to either one of their funerals, I would have seen them there.
And you would have been able to.
I always see, like, guys, I've told you this before, like, when you go to a funeral, 100% guarantee, and this is the only guarantee I'll ever give you. They're at the foot of the coffin for like the first half hour. They usually hang around trying to like take it all in. Once they finally like take it all in, they're going to be creeping around, and spirit can taste food through you if it wants to. So if their favorite food is there and you eat it, please believe they will be right by you. If their favorite drink is there and you're drinking it, they will be right by you. They are listening to what you are saying about them privately, as well as the eulogies that are given. They're all about the funeral. And I think that's something important that a lot of people should know. That's one of the reasons I don't go to funerals. Blue Crossroad said, sounds a lot like me, Gemma. And because of the connection to music, that's when it hits me when the song comes on from the shuffle. Yes. And to be honest with you, I've given up music for the most part because of those two specifically. It hurts me to listen to a lot of music. These people were my best friends. I mean, huge major parts of my life. But for Bobby Jeans to come on, and then If I Die Tomorrow, which were the two main songs, between Billy and I and one between Jeff and I, it was almost heart-wrenching. I'm still getting upset just thinking about it. But I'm finally 2.5 years later, 2 years later for one of them, and 2.5 years later for, actually, I'm behind. Almost 3 years from Jeff and 2.5 years from Billy. I'm finally allowing myself the space and the time to grieve them and realize that I'm not going to see them again. Call Me Mr. Flintstone is never again going to come into my live stream, and that pains me. Blue Crossroads, I have those moments too. Once I get the music on, I'm good and I'm feeling it, but it's like getting to that point where like, do I want to take this chance?
I'm gonna back out for a second.
Okay. Chillin' Charlie says, my grandmother's brother, I knew, I just felt that he never liked me. When he passed away, I didn't go to any of his services. I don't usually go to, like I said, I don't go to funerals. Because the people that do know about my abilities, which in my family, now that I'm on YouTube, is a lot more, but for the most part, most people don't know. But the people that do will ask me to like, it's not a place where you want to get messages, right? They're at their funeral. You have to respect that and let them take that in. I mean, it's not really even something we can imagine whether we think we can or not. Paranormal Pixie, you are absolutely right. I say it all the time to my clients, to my friends, to you guys, like, unless you grieve properly, they are not going to, you may think you're ready. You may think that's what you want more than anything in the world, but they know your energy. They can see your energy and they will know when it's appropriate and when it's not. When you're ready, they'll know you're ready and you won't. And I know that my grief has built a wall between us, but it still really sucks. It sucks that I can do that for everyone else and not for me.
Thank you.
So are you guys dealing with anything paranormal or anything you guys want to talk about, bring to the table for the last half hour? The second half hour of our Tuesday talk show?
I was down in the cemeteries taking those pictures. Okay? Because those pictures I sent you were all taken, except for those ones in my room. I took those ones down in the cemetery. The building that I'm standing in front of is where my hair turned white.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah. When you look at the pictures, you'll see at the mausoleum. Okay. When I was taking the picture, I took a couple. I had to delete a couple because I didn't want to look at them because I felt like something was standing behind me again.
I kind of glanced at them because I just wanted to get them into Canva because here's what happens with Canva. All my selfies, all those pictures go into Canva and they go in order. So to find your really nice pictures of you and like the tux and all that, it takes me so long to look through thousands of pictures to find it, but I can't just take it out of Canva and re-put it in. I have to get the picture again, then re-put it in again. And it's hard. Like Miss Pixie, I want to change your thumbnail to like a different font. And I finally figured out how to do it without having to go in and get your picture again. So that's why I've been kind of messing around with fonts and all this other stuff. I'm sorry, guys. I have something going on. My finger hurts, and I'm just trying to fix it real quick. I've got like a little hangnail I'm trying to pull out with the clippers. There we go. Got it. Had a dream of Shauna last night. It was very random, so not sure if it was just a dream or her making contact. It felt a little more like a dream, so not sure. So listen, Blue Crossroads, it's, you know, again, I can't give a guarantee, but I would say 99.9% they are visiting you. And if you even have the tiniest inkling that it's more than a dream, then it is. Like, you know, your energy knows, your body knows. The problem is, like, as human beings, we can't help but try to be rational. Even the most irrational of us sometimes can't help but try to be rational. And, you know, that's perfectly normal. But yeah, I would say she visited you. Miss Pixie says, I have had a couple amazing things happen recently. My abilities are definitely leveling up, for lack of better terms. So tell us about it. What happened? On the couch with your fairy buddy. Where's Miss Lotus, girl?
Lotus, where are you?
She's going to text me afterwards and be like, dang it, I missed Tuesday again.
She's so busy, though. She's always got her hands in something.
She's sick as well physically. A lot of us are under physical attack as well as spiritual, or physical as a result of spiritual.
Edna, where are you too, woman?
Yeah, Edna doesn't usually come in Tuesdays, does she?
Sometimes.
Yeah, she's not like a regular on Tuesdays, though.
No, but she picks on me on my late streams.
Miss Pixie, I'm glad that your abilities are leveling up, and that's a good way to put it. You know, what do we really call it? Getting stronger. You're becoming more powerful. That sounds very from the ego. So that's a great way to put it, because I know how much hard work you put in. And I tell people this all the time. I don't just ask you guys into the streams on the Oracle streams because I want to get a view. I ask you guys in because when I read for you more and more over time, I start to understand more, and then the readings become more deep and intense. One was talking to a friend over coffee and explaining how to create an energy shield. And as I showed her, the noise of the shop just dialed down instantly. And I love it because you work so hard, and you deserve to be recognized and acknowledged for the work that you do in this community. I think you're too much in the background. I know you do some live streams, but I would love to see you get on and really, I mean, you do put yourself out there, but I guess it's just more quiet than I do it. But I just think you're amazing. And I love that you've worked for it. You know, like for me, it came randomly and people think I didn't have to work for it. I absolutely did. I had to get used to all of this. You know, I blocked it out for so long, and it was shameful and bad and evil for so long. I did a year of, I hate that it was called witch school, but that's what it was called. That's amazing. I love working with energy shields. It's still something that I have to practice with. But I do all my practicing alone, like in my house by myself. So sometimes I don't know if what I'm doing is working, you know?
Sorry, my dad was being ornery. Pops was being ornery.
Ornery?
Ornery.
I thought you said honoring. I was like, what was he honoring? Ornery.
He was back to going.
It's funny because I sent Ghostdragonzw one of those little atomizer bottles of a perfume, my favorite perfume. I've been sending those little ones out to you guys. It's an essential oil collection. They have at Bath & Body Works. And he's like, is this for men or women? It's really strong. I'm like, 1, it's from Bath & Body Works. 2, it's unisex. 3, my mom took me into Bath & Body Works the other day, and she's like, I don't know what to get you for Christmas, so go. And it was so cool. I think I told you guys, I got one of every single scent, and I got a lotion, and I was so excited because the $15 bottles were all on sale for $4.95. I got lucky. And my Crocs, my mom bought me a pair of Crocs I've been wanting for a while. Miss Pixie says the other was the night before last, and a friend asked for help finding an item. And so I projected it to her as I saw it. She messaged and said she found it. I described where I saw it and she sent. So you've described, sent me a picture and I was spot on. Yeah. So you, I remember when we were trying to figure out that little boy who I crossed over finally, who was at my mom's, and you described the entire down the street of my mom's house. And you have never been to my mother's house. So I knew right then that, you know, you had something special with you. And I'm so glad that you're building on it because the community needs more honesty and integrity and more people with respect for the craft and respect for what we do. There was a meme I posted that said something, oh no, it was a short, someone else's short I posted on Facebook, and it was about the pick me girl. And it was funny because they had purple hair, and I was laughing because I didn't know the term pick me back when I was doing a different show. And there was a girl that had a similar shade of hair who was always like, yeah, but you know, that's not me. I listen to heavy metal. But that's not me. I don't know any other girls who listen to heavy metal and are indigenous. Well, I don't know. I don't know any other girls who listen to heavy metal, are indigenous, and have endometriosis. And I'm just like, what is our, like, okay, we get it. You're a cool girl. But actually what it's called is a pick me. Mark says, mentioning energy shields, when you put one in place, how long does it last? I think it's different for everybody. I know when I put one in place, it lasts as long as I need it to last, but I'm not going to sit there and hold it for an hour. Miss Pixie, what do you think about that one? I'll put the question up on the screen. Chillin' Charlie, I like Polo Red is my favorite men's scent. Polo Red.
I like, you know, the smell of moss. I just rub it underneath there. No, anyways. See, I can't use an energy shield. It never works for me. I've tried. Believe me, I've tried. It just doesn't work for me. I don't
It just might not be your ability. Your energy might not be compatible with it. I can't do everything either. There are things that I can't do. So Mark, I'm sure Miss Pixie will answer your question. I want to refer to Miss Pixie, though. She said, I just wish more people would trust me. I have yet to give anyone with Blue Crossroads any kind of reading. I like helping, you know. See, I don't have time to do a video. If you could do readings remotely, I would gladly take one. Nobody ever reads for me. But the only thing is I don't have time to do a face-to-face like on a video to get a reading. That's the issue. And when I read for myself, I can't do it because I would have to film it as though I'm reading for someone else and do it the same way. And I don't have the time. The way I think of it is I could be reading for a client in that time, because otherwise I only read what the book says. And there's no, it's like, do you know how like some people read a sentence and then they don't remember what they read? That's what happens when I try to read more into my own reading, my own cards. Yeah. It just doesn't work for me. I know a lot of people that can do it, but that's one of the things, like I cannot do that. Miss Pixie,
I just got Divine that wants to give you a tarot reading too.
Yes, I asked her for one. She's going to. I'm going to give her one for January. But Miss Pixie, I feel like you just need to get out there a little bit more. I wish you had the proper equipment to just be able, like Steven does, to up and start a stream, you know, when you feel like doing it. I know my channel's not that big, but I do think being on it a little bit more would push you out into the community a little bit more, because Blue Crossroads is always representing you, you know, like telling people about you. I'm always telling people because you're the only person I would trust to take some of the weight off me when I'm confused or overwhelmed, or when I just don't have the time, but I don't want to leave someone hanging. Mark, you know, was blown away by you and said you just tremendously helped him.
Yeah, he was.
So Mark, in answer to your question, Lara says, I find shields tend to vary. Most usually last for a few hours. And like I said, I think that depends on the person putting it up, because for me, I choose how long it lasts. Pixie's readings were spot on. Oh, I definitely believe that. I feel, Miss Pixie, that you probably are like me and have been lifelong, but because you don't visually see, it's a lot harder to understand what's happening. It's a lot harder to discern what's real and what isn't when you can't physically see it. Is that voice in my head my voice? Where is that coming from? Even when you picture the spirit or the entity in your head that is speaking, it's still only in your mind's eye. And I can't imagine how confusing that must be. I have to run to the restroom, guys. I'll be right back. Mystical rock hounding and fossils. I don't know what that means. Ever tried to move a strong magnet hanging on a wire? I don't know what that means.
Charlie, have a good one. Have a good day, sir.
Bye, Charlie. Have a good day.
I'm so glad what you say. I'm a typical empath. I love helping. Yeah, I know you do, Pixie. Maybe I'll have you give me a reading someday. I'm so picky. Gemma don't even really give me readings anymore. She's too close. So, but maybe I'll have you do me one. Maybe I'll have you do it live on the show. There you go. On your stream one night, I'll let you do me. Let's discuss it. Yeah, let's discuss it because I'm real kind of, I think you're learning that I'm a little on stuff. So it's not that I don't believe in it. Sometimes people get a little too close and it makes me nervous. There's a reason sometimes I put up a wall, especially when it comes to my health. There's a wall. Now that wall I can keep up. It's not as bad as everybody thinks it may be, but there are some issues. Yeah, because I trust her. You're quirky, and you love it. I love it. I am quirky. That's funny. If that's who you're talking about. If you're talking about me, yeah. I've been called that before. My sense of humor. I know my sense of humor is a little weird, and that's all right. I don't care. I don't care usually what people think unless they're directly involved with me. I mean, like my family and stuff. I'm a little more concerning, but other than that, any sign you ask all my friends, I don't care. So I've been called all kinds of things amongst my friends. Weird has probably been the biggest one because they know what it's like hanging around with me. I mean, if I go out with them at night, it's always an interesting evening. Last time I went out with them was about a month ago, about a bit longer than that. And we all went out to have drinks. What I end up doing is I end up drinking coffee and then being the designated driver, but it never fails. Something during that night always weird happens.
So, I just want to say when I first came into this community, because I came in, like, I wish I didn't do it this way, but I was so conditioned to feel like I was different. I was other. I was evil. I came into this community originally not talking about my abilities, right? I was not, because someone once said, like, oh, you suddenly became a medium? That's great. Like, sarcastically to me. And I said, well, if you actually watched my channel and listened to what I have to say, you would understand why. If you only watched me while I was streaming with that other person, you would know why I never talked about it. So if you watch my Glimmerman video, I hate that video because I came into it as though I did not believe in anything I was saying, and it shocked me. It did shock me, but not to the point where I thought anyone was going to think I was crazy, not in this community. But at the time, I just wasn't ready yet. Right. And a lot of people didn't trust me for that reason in the beginning. I had to really work hard to prove myself by making connections with people. And I think Paranormal Pixie, that is exactly what you're doing. Mystical rock hounding and fossil says, Lara, to test telepathic electromagnetic abilities, like a self-test. I'd never heard of that, but I'd be willing to try it.
Yeah, you can do that.
Lara said, Mystical, I have. I also have used a test where it measures the amount of energy you emit, and I peg the meters and can change the direction of the flow. That is awesome. Lara, Mark says he'd be willing to trust you. Yeah, I think here's the thing. I think you have the trust of basically everyone whose trust I have. You just don't realize it because you don't speak to them as much, and you're not really out there as much as I am in this particular community of people that I have around me. Because I don't think anyone in Live Oracle wouldn't trust you to give them a reading.
Edna. I told you.
He just said,
we were just talking about you.
I said, she doesn't usually come into this stream, does she? He's like, well, sometimes she does. And I was like, oh, okay.
How you doing, hon?
Mystical says, wow, nice, Blair. I tested on myself. I moved the magnet. That was enough proof. There you go. I'm going to try that. Emotional blinders. Yeah, Miss Pixie, I know for, like, I have a hard time. Like, sometimes I'll become so overwhelmed. And then I'm like, well, you know, it's a good thing. People trust me to lead them and to guide them and to bring authentic messages through. I just don't like being pushed to do the one-on-one medium readings. I'm not ready for that personally. And I don't like when people try to push me. I've had it happen twice where people have pushed me to try to get me to bring messages in from their deceased loved one. And I would bring them in if they randomly came in, but I don't like sitting down for a one-on-one and calling. I'm not ready for it yet. And it shouldn't be something that I have to explain, but I always feel like I have to explain myself on that. I'm just not ready. But then I get the backlash. What's up?
It's a good day today, Edna. Good. I'm glad.
Oh, so good.
Hello, Jules. All I know is I've been stuck close to home because of things. Not feeling good on top of it doesn't help. I'm still having some issues. So when I go out, man, I'm like really on guard.
It's been a lot harder, I think, for people like us who see things that other people don't to be out in public. I went to the mall with my mom the other day, and it's just getting
it's intense.
It is very intense. Great word. It is very intense because of what's going on in our society now. And that's not making any kind of political statement. I'm simply saying there's a lot of darkness and a lot of evil overwhelming and overtaking us specifically, but just people in general, getting them to attack us and come at people like us to try to dim our lights. And I feel like maybe in the next 4 to 5 years, that's going to completely change. And there's going to be a great change in the collective. But it's not happening anytime soon. And it's going to get a lot better before it gets worse. I'm hoping, honestly.
There is literally a war going on for our souls, and people don't realize it.
I hope, that in 2024 some things change in our country, America specifically, but it's the world too. And I think that is what it is, Ghost Dragons. People don't understand that heaven and hell, I'll just use that, like the other sides,
That's
other realms and places, they're not up and down or left or right. They're 3 inches above our ground. And they're right there fighting. I mean, if you ever walk into a room and it's freezing cold, you ever walk into a room and you get super dizzy and nauseous for no reason, then you walk out of the room and you're fine. Those are spiritual attacks. And they happen to us more than most people. They happen to most people too, to a lesser degree, but most people don't acknowledge it for anything other than, whoa, I had a dizzy spell. Right. Oh, I had a hot flash. Now those things do exist,
right,
medically and physically, but a lot of the time that is spiritual.
2 things, Edna. One, I know it's taken down. There's a couple of people I follow on stream, and they all had it too. One of my favorite guys, that he doesn't show his face. I don't know if anybody has ever heard of him. He's Beyond Creepy, I think is what his channel's called. He's had it real bad just as long as I had. And he said he hadn't put out anything because of the way he's felt. So whatever this is, it's hanging around. I'm still struggling.
The week before you had it, I had it and was in bed crawling around my upstairs. I couldn't even get down the stairs. And when I stood up, I had to be bent over like this, holding on to stuff. When it was going from my bed to the bathroom, I was crawling. And that was 2 Sundays ago. When we were at Power Unity, Damien had it. And then the weekend after Damien had it, my mom had it. Then I got it. Then you got it. None of us were in proximity to one another at that time. My sister had it before Damien had it. My other son had, like, it's just going,
Yeah, because Pop's still struggling with it too.
who passed in December and January over the past few years. I'm so sorry, Miss Lara. Yeah, multifaceted Jules. Like I said, scientifically, postmenopausal, things like that. Like that stuff does exist, obviously, with our physical bodies. But a lot of the time with someone like you, especially, you have very high ability, but you don't really work with it because you've only just found out that you have it. And it's very confusing. You know, I wish I had the time to really sit down and work with you and understand it. And I just can't find the time. Like a few other people are really very, very highly sensitive. But then there's very, very high ability. The ability level in you is so high. Just because you don't realize it doesn't mean the negative spirits and entities around you don't. And they see you immediately. And when they see you, they will go on the attack. And that is why if you accidentally even invade their space, they will attack you. Raymond, what is up?
I was just going to say hello, Raymond.
Yeah, I wish that I had, and eventually I will. You know, I'm just getting started. I'm just getting started to get my name out there, my brand's out there. And that is important, guys, because I'm trying to make a living out of this. I'm trying to work up to a spiritual retreat. I'm trying to do a lot of things personally in my life through this work. And it's very hard when I live with a complete and total non-believer. Things get very stressful sometimes. And then just trying to keep up with the promises that I make. I don't break promises. I try really hard not to. And when I do absolutely have to, it almost breaks me. Like I feel so horrible. Like I'm letting so many people down. I take being on YouTube, even with just 3,000, 40 subscribers, I take it as a huge responsibility, not in a burdensome way, but just as like, okay, I have people that depend on me, that rely on me, that trust me, that look to me. I've got to guide them and I have to be on point and I have to be there. I mean, but that is the job that I chose. But to make it in this industry as the job it's much harder than I think a lot of people understand. I tried to stop doing pre-recordeds because that's 7 hours of my week. And when I did, a lot of people started complaining that all I was doing was live streams. But then when I do the pre-recordeds, they get like 30 views in the first 24 hours. And that's not a lot. That's
it takes a little time for it to catch on too.
It's 10% of my subscribers.
And it doesn't help when they don't set out notifications for new videos and stuff like that. I think
that's what it is a lot of the time too. Like 2 weeks ago, I put out something that everyone was so excited for and it only got 10 views in the first 12 hours. And that's because YouTube didn't push it out. I notified you guys, but some of you guys don't get notification. Right. So I'm hoping in the future to have a lot more time, a lot more space to work. And a lot of what I've been doing in the past year is working on my abilities for myself so that I can then learn how to manage them, manage what I'm doing with you guys and what I want to be doing in the future, where I see myself in 5 years, because I am meeting all of my short-term goals. Financially, it's become a big struggle. And thank you. Forget these negative Nancys and just do you, Gemma. Do what makes you happy. And I am so happy being able to do this for a living. My mom, I was so surprised. She loves the little rap videos I've been doing, the shorts. She's like, you have to send them all to me right away, right now. And I was like, really? And she's like, did you show Kyle? Did you show Damien, my sons? And I was like, no, I'm like, going to embarrass them. And she's like, no, well, Damien, get down here. And she made him watch them.
Hold on, I got something to show you.
It was
You're going to get a giggle out of because I don't know if you've seen it yet. Hold on 1 second.
Mark, that is awesome. I check your channel every day so I don't miss anything. And that's the type of content I want to put out where people like, oh, I hope I didn't miss anything, even if it's just to support me. Thank you, Raymond.
There's a little chuckle for everybody, for those who hadn't seen it yet.
What are you doing?
Okay. You'll see. Okay.
I didn't see it yet. Turn it off so we don't get copyright.
Okay. Oh, you won't let the Christmas song. I'm sorry. Hold on. I'm sorry. You won't.
Yeah, we might though. That was amazing. I love it.
She's got another one with me and a reindeer dance.
I have to go and get them. You can show it, but don't show it with audio because I might get striked for that.
It was Christmas week. I know it should be okay, but just in case, yeah, you're right. Hey, Val, how you doing, hon?
Hey, Val. I'm so sorry, guys. We've got to end. I've got to do some shorts. I've got to do my yoga for the day, and I've got a crock pot full of homemade meatballs downstairs. I got to do something with, put some mozzarella cheese on them. So I love you guys. Thank you for hanging out with us. I always appreciate when you guys take the time out of your day. I mean, even with Live Oracle and all of Steven and Lara streams. But during the day, it's hard, right? And when you guys show in, I'm just like, show up, and come in. It's pretty awesome. Love you guys so much. Don't forget, if you want signed copies of my 3 books that I have out now, let me know before you make the purchase. Don't forget about merch, guys. One person has purchased merch, and I would appreciate it if y'all could just check it out. Yeah, I look forward to my new book coming out. Don't forget Christmas. So I want to get Ghost Dragons a present. It is $40. It won't arrive until after Christmas. I'm willing to put 20 in. That's really all I can put in. If anybody wants to donate to that nice little cause. And if not, I'll see you guys on Friday for Live Intuitive Oracle. Yes, homemade meatballs in the crock pot, and I cannot wait to eat them. I actually just now got a whiff of them for the first time all morning. So, all right, guys. Bye.
Have a good one. I'm out.